Brant, did you have a joke?
How many podcasters does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
Just one. But they'll spend an entire hour discussing the best way to do it. Huh? No?
Brant, do you have a funny joke?
I mean, look, I don't. I'm horrible with telling jokes. I do not remember jokes. They do not stick in my head. I usually just kind of rely on wit and sarcasm and what's it called? Depreciation.
Self-depreciation is a thing. It is also self-deprecation is also a component, right?
I am just failing.
Skeleton walks into a bar, orders a beer and a mop.
What do you call advice from a cow?
What's that?
Beef tips.
That was pretty good.
From conversations to the natural world to complete silence, so many of us focus on what's next rather than what is happening now. I'm Listening is a podcast that dissects the importance of listening.
I'm Drew Richmond.
And I'm Brant Christofferson.
And this is I'm Listening, a podcast simply about the skill of listening. Does laughter help or hinder the ability to listen?
Getting into this, I was like, man, this is going to be hard because nobody likes the joke explained. Nobody wants you to explain the joke. But yeah, what is it about humor that makes us lean in?
Is that where we're jumping into today? Is that what we're talking about today? Is laughter and listening?
Yes.
Do you want to hear a knock-knock joke?
Yeah.
All right, you start.
Knock, knock. It's not. No, I don't like it.
Who's there?
Oh, man. I don't know. Humor. It's relatable. We're drawn to people that are fun, are funny, are relatable, and I think that's where humor kind of comes in when it comes to listening. We referenced Ferris Bueller on a past episode, and I want to get back to that scene with Ben Stein, who's the teacher, and he's just talking in this really monotone voice. Like, it is the depiction of someone who is very boring.
Anyone.
Yeah. And
anyone.
When I'm talking, when I'm trying to share something, when I'm trying to be effective in what I'm communicating, I need to show a little more emotion than that, some more charisma. And I love to find a good shtick in there. Can I make this into a bit? Can I make this funny? Because I know if I get a laugh out of somebody, that I know that they are listening. I know that they are we're on the same wavelength. I've hit a chord that is relatable to them. And I feel like, okay, I did it. I made my point. I got it through.
I really like that. And let's start there a little bit. I think if you make me laugh, a couple things just happened. A, as the presenter, you know that I'm paying attention.
Yep.
Therefore, if you know that I'm paying attention, then you kind of have, you instantly have control over the situation a little bit. The other thing that it does is that A, you have my attention, but B, you're likely going to keep my attention. If you're presenting or you're talking to a group of people and you just go up there and fire off 15 jokes, not the right audience, not the right time, not the right purpose. Now, if you're a comedian and you're a comedy show, that's the right time, that's the right audience, that's the right purpose. For the sake of listening, in this context is you say something funny, I laugh at it, or the group laughs at you, you automatically know where you stand with this group. You've got our attention. Now you must capitalize. We are listening to you because we just gave you evidence that we're listening to you.
Yep.
Now, there's a little bit of science behind that. What happens to your brain when you start laughing? There's a biological response as body's releasing endorphins. And those endorphins make you smile, make you happy. Well, if you're laughing and you're smiling and you're happy, you're probably paying attention. And this feels good, this interaction that we're having. I'm going to listen to you.
Yeah.
What if it doesn't work?
We're going for that moment of I can make that connection. And that moment of connection is that laugh. If that laugh doesn't happen, it's painful. Oh my gosh. It's just like, yes. I missed completely. I predicted that I was going to really connect with these folks. and I did not get the connection, and they don't get me. There is an awkwardness sometimes in the room, or there is a disconnect, or there is a, oh man, I really need to redo what I'm up to here because we are not vibing. We're not connecting.
Right. Now you're in recovery mode, and recovery mode is tricky. Brant, this happens to me often. I sit on a couple of boards, and one of the boards that I sit on, the environment of that board is, semi-serious, not very serious, but semi-serious context. Some boards I sit on are more fun and lighthearted, and we get our business done, but it's a little more informal, a little more casual. Yeah. This one I'd put in this kind of semi-formal capacity. I botch this often. I kind of class clown it a little bit. Okay. And make jokes, and like 2 people out of the 9 laugh. But I want it to be a little bit lighter.
You're trying to lighten the mood.
I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little bit. And I would say more than 50% of the time, I kind of bomb the room.
So you're trying to lighten the mood because you're recognizing just how it's a little too dry in the room. It's a little too serious.
A little too stuffy. A little too stuffy.
Okay. Too stuffy. So you want to lighten the mood, get a little bit of a smile, make that time go by a little more enjoyable for you, but for the others in the room too.
Oh, yes. I'm writing that down. Hold on.
Write that down. Why aren't they laughing?
Because it's the setting.
Okay.
Because it's a semi-formal room. It's the environment in which you're in. The topics in which you have may or may be a little more lighthearted than others. But you have business to conduct, and you have an audience to sometimes. So you need to represent yourself. This is a very public component too. This isn't a private board meeting where you're locked behind doors. This is a very public component to it. But Brant, you said something, and I want people to enjoy it. And I think that I have a skill set to be able to do that. It bombs 50% of the time.
It would make me laugh, actually, if I was there. I would laugh just watching you bomb. Just being like, oh, he's going to do it. He's going to do it again.
He's going to do it again. I will also do it when I have something to say. I will utilize this as a tactic to get people to listen to what I have to say. I may start it with a little snide comment or a little, just a little wit, just to get people to kind of chuckle. And then I'll go into what I have to say. And sometimes I get a positive response from that because I drew them into me, and then I said my piece, and then I moved on.
Yeah, I'm drawing their attention in as one. And 2, humor also, I think, helps with that memory retention. Like, hey, do you remember that time when Drew was eating lamb chops on stage trying to make a point of something?
Trying to be hilarious.
But it helps with just that memory retention. Like, they will remember this because of this tactic.
Right, because of the endorphins. This is just sitting there going, all right, agenda item 9, next, Bueller. Yeah, that's part of it.
When's a time that that's an example of a time where like you've tried using humor or laughter to make that connection. It's not quite working. Do you have any examples of times when you're just with your people, you're with your crowd, you are connecting and you are firing off like on all cylinders?
It's usually with other people that are very witty or sarcastic.
Okay.
I can have an entire conversation for 15 minutes, 100% through sarcasm and fiction.
Okay.
I will go up to somebody that's equal as sarcastic as me, and we'll have an entire dialogue conversation about something that doesn't exist and just make it all up and just keep going and build off of what the other person is saying for minutes. Is that normal? I don't know.
It works though for the two of you, right? Because
oh my God,
you might not have anything substantial. Like, I'll come home and my wife's like, so what did you guys talk about? I don't know.
No idea. It was dumb ass shit is what we talked about. Stupid shit. But it was funny.
But it was fun. Yeah.
But it was funny.
And it lifted your mood.
Yeah. So it's sarcasm. People meet me with sarcasm. I am a very sarcastic person. And people with like quick wit, I try to keep up, and I usually don't do that very well. I'm not as fast on my feet as other people are. Those are usually the two environments in which, the jokes and the knee slapping and those sorts of things just start firing on all cylinders right then and there.
Nice.
What about you? Talk to me about how would you describe your humor? You're funny. I laugh at you. With you. I laugh with you.
At you.
I laugh with you.
I like being in those serious situations that you're talking about. The meetings, the place where there is not supposed to be laughter. That's my place, because I will just edge a little bit of humor in there. Like that is, maybe that's horrible, but like all my, like 90% of my capacity during those dry moments is not like I'm focused on what's going on, but I'm like, how can I get a laugh out of this group?
Yeah.
What can I do just to make someone smirk just a little bit? And that keeps me engaged.
Why do you want to do that? Do you want to take control? Do you want to just to break up the monotony? Do you want to help you pay attention? What's the reason behind that?
I'm sure there's some kind of narcissistic tendency there that just want attention. But
yes, it all is for attention. Let's boil this down. Does laughter help you listen? No, but it makes people pay attention to me.
But I get lots of good attention.
Hi, welcome to kindergarten.
Well, okay.
Is that what this episode really just turned into? Kindergarten?
I can get just, yes, it is. Fart jokes.
Yes.
I can get distracted pretty easily. I can get off topic pretty easily, but I also can get really bored really easily. And I kind of like you were saying, it's like I want to bring a little bit of joy to the situation that we're having, and I want to have some sparks for engagement. So a little bit of wit or a little bit of humor here and there, to me at least, brings that energy up in the group. I'm not trying to side rail things. I'm not trying to put all the attention on me. I'm just trying to bring the energy up in the room a little bit.
Yeah.
And if I can get a little laugh here or there, it shows, okay, that's funny. I understand where you're coming from. It shows there's that connection happening, and it's lifting up the mood.
The timing, the setting, the audience. Yeah, it's a good tool. It is a Brant and Drew stamp of approval to utilize laughter as a tool to get people to listen to you a little bit more, or maybe a little bit closer. Okay, that's the stamp of approval. Here's the asterisk down below. Here's the footnote. If you're not good at it, don't do it.
No, do it. Do it.
No,
I
Brant.
dare you.
No,
yes.
You're doing this wrong.
And I want to be there to watch.
You just endorsed people that aren't funny to try and be funny. You can't do that. Do you know how many people are going to go out in the world and then not be funny? And then they're going to get that it's not funny. You can't do that.
Okay, you can, I say try little things and see what works and see what doesn't work. And
like podcast jokes?
Here's my formula. Yes. I would start with a joke. I was really like sick, like stomach GI sick, and not feeling good. And I needed to go to the closest store, and I needed to get some Pepto-Bismol. And as the gas station was the closest store, I find the Pepto and I bring it to the counter, and he's like, "Do you have any gas?" I was like, "Oh no, it's much worse than that." I didn't get a laugh out of him, but I'm like, he's not going to ask someone that question again. This has really happened.
This is a true story?
This is a true story.
It's such a great joke.
It landed really well.
Did you tell it to people?
I mean, I told it to him at that moment.
Did you tell him that it was a joke? So you were being sarcastic.
Uh-huh.
Ooh. Did it go over?
No. It didn't.
He didn't pick up what you were putting down?
I think he did, but I made it too awkward. It was too much, right?
It was too much. Yeah.
That is where, like, you can take a joke and test it out and see if it works or not. But there are these pitfalls that happen, right? Like maybe it was misinterpreted.
Yeah.
You know, like I overstepped some kind of uncomfortable boundary for that person where that joke was just not hitting for them, right?
Yeah.
Had it landed right and it got them to laugh, I'd have been like, all right, I got to laugh. That was good.
Right. And it was the setting. You are the 74th person he's asked if you have gas or not.
Yes.
Right. Not all of them have walked up with Pepto-Bismol.
No.
because he was asking for serious, and you came back with a witty comment. Brant, first of all, I'm very proud of you. B of all,
proud of that one. Don't feed my ego here. I'm just going to keep doing it now.
B of all, I wish I would see that. This is why. Because even that is funny. The fact that he missed it and you said it, you're starting to crack a smile. You're starting to laugh, and he's got nothing. Zero. That's that dry humor. That's that witty comeback that, and you didn't even, it's just like, you spit that out so fast, you're probably even surprised yourself a little bit of like, that was really good.
Yeah, it was really quick. I was like, okay, that was good.
But he didn't catch it.
You don't plan on it.
Right. Yeah. Wrong environment, etc. Okay. That was pretty good.
Yeah. So this sets up my kind of rule for those people that don't have good humor. Here's kind of what I look at it. It's called the benign violation theory. Benign violation. You can Google it. But basically, we take a violation, right? And a violation is anything going outside of the norm. Anything outside of the norm that might feel a little different, a little off, uncomfortable.
Unexpected.
Yeah. But there's also this layer of it being benign. Like it's not hurtful. So someone falling off a ladder, that's a violation. You're not supposed to fall off the ladder.
Right.
And when someone falls off a ladder but pops back up again real quick, I'm like, I'm okay. Now it's funny because it was benign where they did not get hurt. There's a violation, but it was benign.
Yep.
So the same goes for my gas joke. It was a violation that we don't normally ask people very openly about what's going on with their GI system when they're buying Pepto-Bismol. And I thought it was benign enough to give a response to it, but it might have been too much.
Right. But you created the violation. Your response was so it was actually a little bit backwards. Your response was the violation of, no, it's way worse than that.
Yeah, he set it up for me.
So it's got to have both. So if somebody slips and falls on the ice, and it's America's Funniest Home Videos or YouTube, I guess it's YouTube now, and you're watching all these
America's Funniest Videos.
I mean, really, 90% of these things were people falling, because people falling is funny. People falling and breaking their arm, and you go, oh shit. Oh God, that's awful. Could be the exact same person falling at the exact same time and then them popping back up. And it's hilarious because it's benign. All right. And what is this called again?
I'm listening.
No.
Oh, the podcast?
No.
The benign violation theory.
Oh, the benign violation theory is what makes a good joke or is what makes people laugh.
Yeah, this is kind of like how do you incorporate laughter, humor into something? And it's using this little formula. What's the violation, and is it benign? Right?
Yeah.
Drew, I need to go pee. I gotta go to the bathroom. Can we pause?
Is this a joke?
No, I'm really gonna go. I'm gonna. Bye. Be right back.
We're keeping this in. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. Please hold while Brant urinates because he has to right now. I don't think Brant has ever peed. I don't think either one of us, in hundreds of hours of recording this podcast to date, I don't think either one of us has ever urinated during the record. Fascinating. There's a first for everything, I guess. That was a lot.
Okay, I'm back.
That was a big pee.
Bad judgment on my time. I'm drinking way too many fluids before we got started.
Hey, this is an episode about laughter, Brant, but hydration is no joke. All right. Back to laughter.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about laughter and its importance as a tool to get people to listen to you.
Sure.
It can go terribly wrong. You can totally botch it. If you botch it, there is a recovery method. You'll just have to learn that on your own. And then you just know that you're not telling jokes anymore. I think if you're going to utilize a joke, it needs to fit your personality. Brant described his humor as dry. Then be dry. Don't be shticky. Right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be I'm going to try to be a little bit more witty or quick or sarcastic. You can do that. Be comfortable with that and give it a whirl. Know your environment. Know who you're talking with. I do this shit in a boardroom and it doesn't go over very well. And I haven't learned my lesson yet because I keep doing it poorly. But in most other cases, which is why I do it in the boardroom, it does work, and I get a little crack at it, and I think people take me seriously because I think that they're listening to me.
Yeah, there are those times where it's like I've done this on Zoom calls before, like business calls, where I would put a joke out there and not get anything, and over time, it's like, okay, this group really does not appreciate this. I need to read that. I need to hold back from trying to do that again with that group because it's not upping the situation. It's not helping anyone when I do that.
Right. I hope people have been to a comedy club where the goal is to laugh. You are laughing and you're around a number of people laughing. That social component of laughter. So if you're looking for a group of people to listen to you a little bit better, and you can get a group of people laughing, describe that to me a little bit, Brant. What's happening there?
What's happening is we're automatically we're getting feedback. If I say something and people laugh, I'm like, okay, I just made a connection. We are now on the same wavelength when it comes to what we're talking about. And maybe they're going to be a little more open to listening to what I have to say. And that openness, it allows for just more effective, more opportunity for listening.
Opportunity for listening. Effectiveness. And maybe I've just been in enough scenarios that a little bit of laughter does actually create a little more effectiveness in what you want to get accomplished. So if it's a high tense situation, if it's very serious, then there's no place for that. But if it's not, if it's a relatively benign, to take your example, relatively benign situation where some humor can get injected into it, maybe people will relax a little bit, allowing themselves to feel a little bit more comfortable saying something, opening up their minds a little bit to be able to think a little more creatively or be a little bit more solution driven or think of a different way to do it because there's some endorphins being released and that can kind of calm people down and to open up your brain so you're not so serious about some things. And maybe you just got to the root of some of my tactics looking for a better outcome from that room, from that report, from that problem solving, whatever it is, if people are a little more open to it.
It works when it's authentic, like when it doesn't look like you are trying to force it or fake it.
Right.
I was just thinking of icebreakers, right?
Because everybody loves an icebreaker.
Let's do an icebreaker, everyone. Hey. But the outcome that we're looking for from that icebreaker is just those things that we were just talking about, right? We want people to feel more open, relaxed, comfortable, and not too in their heads when it comes to having a conversation. A lot of times that's what the icebreaker does. The reason the icebreaker usually is met with resistance is because it feels forced. It's like, oh, you're trying to force something on us that isn't here. Yep. We don't want to be pushed into something that is going to feel contrived. So that's where that humor piece works really well. If you can fit it in there right, you are helping create that more relaxed environment. And if it is authentic, it does not come across as forced.
Like, we're going to do an icebreaker and you're going to like it.
You're going to like it.
How I get you to like the icebreaker and have it be effective might need to get people to laugh a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Because then the effectiveness, there is a reason why we do things like icebreakers. It's to get people to warm up, loosen up, like you just said. But without walking up and be like, okay, everybody, we're going to do a set of icebreakers now. And everybody goes, oh, the hell I am. Why? You're not gonna break my ice. Watch.
Yeah.
I'm really gonna watch this. Yeah, you can loosen people up a little bit and connect with them. We talked about science behind it. We talked about it being useful and described a number of different examples. You talked about the TED Talk, the little formula. We talked about its appropriateness and when it's not appropriate. We talked about how it can influence things, how it's enjoyable, the attention, the memory, the effectiveness. Have we talked about everything? Is there anything else we need to talk about in this podcast?
You can get in trouble with humor too. Like you could.
Go on.
You could lose your job. You could lose friends. You could.
Yes.
You could really get in a lot of trouble by thinking you're funny. I want to put that out there as well. That there is a line, and if you don't know where that line is, don't try and cross it, or don't try to approach it if you're not sure where that is, because it could lead into some bad places. A comedy club is a great place for those jokes that are more of the violation side and less on the benign side. If you try bringing that into a different context, it could come across it could be very hurtful to other people.
Hurtful
or it could
inappropriate.
Tarnish your reputation.
Reputation. For some of us that rely on wit or sarcasm or a joke or something to that extent to get our point across, or to get to have the attention, the spotlight on you for good or for bad. We've all been there. We've all said the thing that went too far. Or you get in that competition where somebody says something and then people try to one up it and like, oh yeah, and this is funnier. Oh yeah, well this is funnier. And then all of a sudden it's like, ooh.
You don't want to derail. You don't want to just derail everything.
You went way up. So you got to be conscious of it. You got to be conscious. It's a great point. And again, 10 o'clock at night after a cup of cocktails at a friend's gathering is one place for it, or on the golf course or something to that extent. If it's in the office, make sure that you know your material and that you know your audience and you know what you can and cannot say. Don't try to be funny and have it end up losing your job over it.
Yeah. Something that you are about to say could come across as offensive. It probably is offensive to somebody.
Yep, for sure.
Just be really careful how you approach those things. It could get misinterpreted, right? It's maybe meant to be lighthearted, but comes across completely wrong. Yep.
Yeah, you got to be careful. All right, so we started this with some jokes. We've got an episode. The
I thought we were going to edit all those out. Those are bad.
No, I think we're going to keep them in. I think we might just go live on this whole episode. you peeing, the whole thing about it. The gas jokes, all the things. I think there's a couple things here, Brant. I'm going to just jump into my takeaway. That this is laughter is the
best medicine.
Laughter is the best medicine. Besides Pepto, I believe that this that laughter is a tool. I think that if you used in the right way with some practice and some understanding, knowing your audience, etc., that it can be a very useful tool to get people to listen to you. Mm-hmm. If you are not funny, if that is not your thing, then don't try to do it. Or if you're not funny, or if it's a dry humor, be yourself. Be yourself. If people know you or think they know you, be yourself. Sarcasm, sarcasm can come off as arrogance, and it can be it can be misinterpreted a lot easier. But a little joke or a little wit can take you a long way. Know your setting. Know your audience, know why you're using it. What's the purpose behind getting people to laugh? Is it to lighten the mood? Is it to draw their attention? Is it to, get a big roar out of the crowd? Go for it if it's appropriate. But I believe that, yes, it can be a tool. I do use it, and I think it can be a very useful tool for you. Talk to me about what's your takeaway?
It's okay to laugh.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway. Have fun with it.
What is it? Laughter is about. It's a good medicine.
Yeah. Don't force it. Look for those opportunities of joy, which helps spark connection.
It's contagious as well.
Yeah.
Crack a smile on stage or in your presentation, say a little thing and crack a smile. People will follow suit with that. It's weird. It's a psychological thing, but it's a contagious thing that if you start laughing at yourself or if you crack a smile about something, you'll get people to laugh with you. And they'll, again, an indicator that they're paying attention to you.
Yeah. If you are enjoying yourself and you come across as you're enjoying yourself, everyone else will as well.
Agreed. Okay, Brant, we've laughed, we've cried, we've urinated, we've urinated, we've had gas.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for this. I needed this laugh. I feel better. I've released the endorphins.
Yeah, I needed to laugh a little bit too. I've normally not supposed to go with the toilet humor. That's kind of the supposed to stay away from that, but.
That was literally and figuratively your entire shtick today. It was toilet humor.
I guess I'm going to accept it. No shame there.
No, you're good. And as a couple of, mid-40s white dudes in America, poop's funny. Things are funny.
It's true.
Toilet humor's okay. Well, thanks for the laugh, Brant. Thank you for listening. Listeners out there, I hope that you...
Oh, and what's that? We just got canceled?
Yeah,
okay.
Totally. Yeah, this is our last episode of the season, technically, yeah?
Technically our last episode. We're going to do 2 more re-listens. Yeah?
Did we talk about that now? Sure, go ahead. We can always cut it out and just have it as a little snippet later on. But yeah, the re-listens, the listening backs, the replays.
Yeah, we're going to pick 2 episodes that just been favorites and rebroadcast those, maybe with a little context to them in the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned for those.
All right, Brant, great episode. Thank you again for making me laugh. We're going to end our season there and with a couple of re-listens, and I cannot wait to launch season 4 with you. We've got a couple of great topics to kick this off, and I'm excited to get into it with you again.
Yeah, we'll be taking a summer break. Season 4 will be kicking off again sometime in the fall.
I look forward to it. All right, my man. Know your audience, Brant. No gas jokes in the boardrooms.
I take that as a challenge now because.
Yes, do it.
Yeah,
do it.
You'll read about it in the news later. Yeah,
don't get canceled. I hope we're here for season 4.
Don't get canceled. Now Drew's back solo with the podcast because Brad got canceled for telling potty jokes in a board meeting.
Yes. And on that note,
man,
I'll talk to you later, Brant.
All right. See ya.
Bye. Oh, that was silly. In the description of this podcast, you will find more information and a list of any of the sources that we used.
This podcast is created and produced by Drew Richmond and Brant Christofferson. Editing by me, and the I'm Listening theme music by Drew.
That's me.
That's you.
Brant, I will talk to you later, my friend.
We'll see you next time.
Yeehaw.
Have a good one, Drew.
Bye, Brant.